this is Chetan for Gizmo Times and you're watching the quick unboxing and hands-on with the Vivo U20. Vivo U20 is the upgrade from the U10 that was recently launched in the budget range under 10,000 rupees, and that phone had the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 chipset, so it had some competitors like the Redmi Note 8 as well as the Realme 5, but this time the U20 has an upgrade not just to the processor but also to the display. While most of the other things have been the same, the camera also is changed. So let's check out what comes in the Vivo U20's box package and what the phone has to offer. So this is the standard box packaging, and you see some of the major specs here itself. You have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 with the AI engine, 5000 mAh battery, which is the same thing here, 18-watt fast charging is also the same, AI triple rear camera. The name might be the same, but we have a different set of sensors and lenses here. So this is the standard box package. There are two color options. The one that we got for review is the blaze blue, and there's also a racing black. So there are two color options, and for the RAM and storage variants, 6 plus 64 is one option, 4 plus 64 is another, and you have a dedicated micro SD card slot for the storage expansion in case you need to do that. So let's now unbox and check out what comes in the box package of the Vivo U20, and we'll see what it has to offer in the box. So firstly, if you take out this, you have a transparent cover and also the standard booklets. So the booklets include the product specification information, and also you have the SIM ejector tool here, and apart from that the information and warranty card, and also the quick start guide, and you have the product mobile the specifications. So the dimensions here are 8.9 mm, and also the phone is about 193 grams in weight. Here are the SAR values, which is quite less and good enough. And now let's talk about the other accessories that are given in the phone packaging. So this is the phone itself. This is the blaze blue, and this is not the first time that we are opening this. We already have set up the phone, so you might see some scratches or fingerprints and smudges, which is again common because this is a plastic back and the polycarbonate back, not the glass one. And this is the gradient design that you see here, the S-shaped gradient that you see on the back. And let's keep the phone aside. We'll see what else comes in the box package. And the next thing is this travel adapter. The last travel adapter that gives you the dual engine fast charge technology, that's 9V2A 18-watt support, and this is the charger that you get in the box itself. And the last thing that you see here is the micro USB cable. So it's not type C, it's still micro USB, but that's fine. When you're getting a fast charging, that people usually expect that it would be only if you have type C. That's not the case. Even with the micro USB, you're getting the 18-watt fast charging here. So now let's get back to the phone. Here's the phone with the fingerprint sensor on the back, the triple rear camera combination, the flashlight, and the Vivo branding towards the bottom. And now towards the bottom of the device itself, you have these things. The micro USB port is present there, the microphone, the 3.5 mm headset jack, and the speaker grill. On the right of the phone, what you see are these things, the buttons, the power button as well as the volume rocker button. On the top there's nothing, and on the left you have the SIM section. So let's open up the SIM area and check out what is offered there. So this is the SIM card area, and you can see the tray has 3 slots, 2 nano SIM card slots and a dedicated micro SD card slot. And now let's talk about the display of it. So the phone comes with a 6.53-inch display, and the first major change here is that this time you have a full HD Plus display. It's not a HD Plus which was on the U10. You have a 1080 x 2340 pixels of screen resolution. It's IPS LCD, but the resolution bump is surely going to add to some goodness of the device. And there's a notch on the top of the phone, which is that water drop notch, and that notch houses 16 megapixel camera, and this is the display of the phone. So it's an IPS LCD, but it's going to be a sharper display when you compare this with the Vivo U10. And internally the phone comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 chipset. This chipset was a part of the Redmi Note 7 Pro, one of the most famous phones, one of the most selling phones, and there was a reason behind it. It did offer some great experience, and it offered a great performance as well. In terms of benchmarks, we have already done the benchmarks, and here you get a score of 2,05,000 for the Antutu benchmark, and you have 487 and 1540 for the Geekbench test. So for the benchmark scores as well, it's quite a decent score. Now let's get into the settings of this phone. Now if you see here, you have a new section called My Devices under the new FunTouch OS. It's FunTouch OS version 9.2, and you have these options or this information here. It's Android 9 Pie, based on which the FunTouch OS 9.2 is made. And you have the regular settings where you have the status bar and notification options, the display and brightness options, and you have a dark mode here as well, and color temperature adjustment is possible, and you have dynamic effects. where you can unlock and enter home screen, and there's an animation shown there, and there's the security options of fingerprint, face and password. Jovi is that assistant, the quick assistant that you can use in case you want to. And there's the ultra game mode for the gamers, motorbike mode to make it easier to let anyone know who's calling you if you're driving. And that's it in the settings. Now getting into the interface, these are the preloaded applications here. Until this point, all of them are preloaded. PUBG Mobile is not preloaded, and these are the other applications that you see in the device. So this is the interface. It does seem to be quite smooth enough, and we'll be doing some speed test comparisons of this phone with the other ones, including the Redmi Note 7 Pro, to see if the MIUI versus FunTouch OS makes any sense, and is the MIUI faster than the FunTouch OS, or it's the other way around. And this is the camera application. Now let's talk about the camera first. So there are three cameras. So what's different here is that there's a 16 megapixel f1.78 primary camera. There's an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera with the f2.2 aperture, and a third camera is going to be a macro camera. So it's not going to be the depth sensor which you usually see on the budget phones or the regular phones having an extra additional sensor. This time it's a macro lens so that you can do some macro photography. And if you go to the more option, you will see the options of panorama, live photo, pro mode, time lapse, Jovi. And if you go into this option, 1x or 2x, you have the digital zoom. This is not the regular zoom, or this is not the optical zoom, because you don't have an optical zoom camera or an telephoto lens here. The mode for super macro is from here. So if you tap on this, you have the ultra wide angle, bokeh or super macro. So you can still get that bokeh option, but I guess it should be more about the software optimization and not on the regular portrait camera that you have in the other phones. So still it does do a decent bokeh job, but let's not be the judge here. And this is the super macro mode, where it tries to take some macro photos if you go close enough to the subject. So that's how it is with the cameras here. And under video recording, what we see is, let's get into the settings to see what are the possibilities for the video recording. So you have 4K video recording at 30 FPS, and that's a good thing. There's possibility for 4K videos as well, and that's thanks to the Snapdragon 675. And for the other options, you have these things. And let's go to the photo mode. There's the portrait mode directly given here as well, and there's a night mode as well. So that's with the rear camera setup. On the front, there's a 16 megapixel f2.0 camera, and it actually, frankly, as soon as you open the camera, you would notice that the Vivo's cameras always do well with the selfies, and that's the case here. It does look good enough, and there's some skin buffing. Let's restore it, or there should be an option to have no so there's an option to reduce all of the artificial settings. Now this is how the natural selfies would look like, and it actually looks quite natural and good. You have the option for HDR here. You have the option to change some filters, and for the face beautification option, obviously there's quite a lot of things that you can do here. So this is with the camera, and this was all about the Vivo U20, the quick unboxing and hands-on with this phone. Stay tuned for the gaming review of this phone, as well as some comparisons that we would do of this phone with the other ones in this price range. I hope you like this video. If you do, share and subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.